Namaste everyone. We have got
Namaste.
about now we've got Milind Chaudhary ji. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you very much for coming. And
Namaskar.
Namaste.
Today actually we are fighting the India-Pakistan match. So there's I think some people will not be there. Our numbers will be slightly lower. So today I will close exactly at 4 o'clock because many of you may want to watch the match. And those of you who are willing to stay back, we will discuss a lot of the Bhagavad Gita issues about Kali Yuga and other things. Um, now, let's start with the exercise. So everybody please stand up. So we will first do the eye exercise, the shoulders. This is not yoga. This is basically just warming up your body so that you can do the other asanas later on. So let's start with the eye exercise. Look straight ahead. Look up. Turn your eyes to the right. Go down. Look left. Look up. Look to the right. Look down. Look left. Look up. Now the other way around. Look to the left. Look down. Look to the right. Look up. Look to the left. Look down. Look to the right. Look straight up. Now we will turn the head. Take your head. Look to the right. Go down as far as you can. Look to the left. Look up as much as you can. Look to the right. Down. Left. Up. Now the other way around. Look to the left. Down. Look to the right. Up. Look to the left. Down. Look to the right. Up. So now turn your shoulders forward, down, back. Up, forward, down, back. The other way around. Forward, up, back, down. Forward, up, back, down. Now, you roll your balls of your shoulder forward like this. So, roll it forward, down, back. Forward, down, back. Now the other way around. Back, forward, top, back, forward. Now, we will hold the two hands, and now what you do is spread your legs a little bit so that you get balance. Otherwise, you might lose your balance. So just spread your legs a little bit so that they are in line with your shoulder, the balls of your shoulder. Hold your hands and then breathe out and stretch as far possible the other way around. Come back, breathe in, breathe out, stretch the other way around. Breathe in, come back, breathe out and stretch. Come back, breathe in, breathe out, stretch, breathe in, back. Now roll your hips back, left, forward, right, back, left, forward, center, then the other way around. Left, right, forward, left, back, right, forward, left, back. Now, in the last class I had taught Tadasana. Tadasana means it's a mountain pose. So this is something that all the rishis have used. Now, the way to do it is you've got the heel of your foot Now you got to take it as far up as possible. If you, into the groin area, if you can touch the gap between, the space between your groin and your anus, then that is your Muladhara. You will be touching the Muladhara chakra and you hold it there and then you go up. Now what happens is that many people will not have done this before. So you go back to the wall and then you put it this way. So if you lose your balance, the wall will protect you from damage. So you can do like this and then slowly come forward and stretch as much as you can. So if you can't take it right up to the groin area, even if you do this much, it is fine. Now, similarly, you do the other leg. Take it as far as you can above. If you can touch the groin area, great. Otherwise, don't worry. Then take your hand up as much as you can and hold it. And if you can count, hold it up to say count of 2, 3, 4, 5, great. So this, if you do it once, it is enough. Basically, why do you do Tadasana? Tadasana stretches your lower back, and then what it does is it frees your abdomen and it makes it relaxed. Now, we will do Gomukhasana. I'm quite sure all of you have practiced Gomukhasana. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it again in front of you, and then we can do it together. So first is you take the heel, keep it against the ball of the hip, take the other foot, the sole of the foot should come to the floor as far as possible. Then if your right leg is up, then the left hand should go up. And then you take the other hand the other way around and just stretch. Look up. The reason you look up is when you look up, you're opening out your Anahata chakra. Okay? Similarly, you take your other foot, keep it as close as possible to the hip bone, and then keep the other foot on the floor. This one is above, so this will go to the other side. Lock the other foot, the two fingers, and look up. Simple. This basically is for, this is called Gomukhasana. It's like a cow pose. Now, would you all like to do it yourselves once more, or do you all know how to do it? Can someone give me feedback? We can do it once. Okay, let's do it once since nobody has given me feedback. I'll just do it. So take one foot under the opposite hip. Take the other foot over the thigh as close as possible to your torso. And then, depending on which foot is above, take the opposite hand over and hold, then lift up and stretch as much as you can. Hold for 2 or 3 counts. Similarly, take the other heel close or above the other hip joint. Take your sole as close as possible to the torso. Depending on which knee is above, take the other hand over, hold, lock the 2 fingers and look up. Try to be as straight as possible. So, are there any questions?
Sir, namaskar.
Namaskaram.
Can you ask me a question, please?
Yes, please.
Sir, when we are bending our leg,
Mm.
and at that time, what's the position of the foot should be? It should be flat on the ground, um, or how? Okay, one.
Okay.
And one
Yeah.
more question. It's if yet the two hands are not able to fully kind of clasp each other, that will come with practice.
Correct.
Okay, sir.
So the second question I've already answered. It will come with practice. Okay.
Okay,
The
sir.
second is you asked for the where should your how should your this one go, right? How this
Yes,
should be.
yes, yes.
Now the thing is that it should be the ideal position is it should be very close to the other hip bone
Right.
and it should be flat. Why should this be flat? So that you don't slip. If you suddenly slip like this when you're doing, you'll hurt yourself. Correct? So, if you're keeping it like this and it is locked in place, then your body will not move. So, the first rule of always of asana is Sthiram Sukham Asanam. So, when you keep it like this, your body is locked in place, you do not lose your balance, and you do not injure yourself.
Sir, when I try to put my foot the way you are
Hmm.
saying firmly on the
Uh,
ground, in order to keep it firmly on the ground, I have to move my torso from the ideal straight erect position towards somewhat
yes.
going towards that foot.
Correct. So what
So is
happens
that
if you
right?
can you put it a little further forward?
No, no, I can put
If
the foot on the ground. But it
but
just makes my back to be leaning towards that foot rather than being completely in the center.
I understand. So suppose you put your foot a little your sole a little forward instead of putting it here. If you
Yeah,
put it here
yeah.
and then can you try this? Can you do it this way? Then is it better?
Yes, sir.
So do that.
Yes. But the way
That
you did it the first time, the foot was really back. So I tried that. Then the back gets kind of leaning towards that. But if I keep my foot little forward, like how you said later, then I'm able to get it.
yeah. So it takes practice. I've been doing this for 55 years. So
Okay.
obviously I have some experience.
So
So
gradually the foot, as the experience comes, can keep going back and back, right?
correct,
Okay, sir.
correct.
Thank you so much, sir.
Another thing is if your weight, if your body weight is less, then it is easier. It's very important. The
I think
body
that's
weight,
true for all the yogic exercises.
correct. If your body weight is in the optimum range, and the optimum range is if let's suppose you are let us say 5'2", so that makes it 550 centimeters plus another 60. So 555, say 560. So you should be around, say 60, 55, 58 kilos. So that is how you have to view your body weight. But as you age, depending on the kind of diet you have, your lifestyle, and things like that, your body weight sometimes goes here and there, and it's not easy to maintain your weight. So at that time, what happens is that the it becomes harder. The body resistance, the torso resistance increases, and it takes longer to come to an ideal position. Also, we must remember here, like I've said in all my classes, we are not here to do the Olympics. We are here to learn. We are here to learn Yoga Vidya. We are not even learning yoga. We are learning Yoga Vidya. That is the conceptual underpinning of yoga in practice. That is, while we have been learning, you got a lot of people teaching you asanas and pranayama. Out here, what we are doing is we are trying to figure out the fundamental question of who am I, why am I alive. This is the ultimate goal of Yoga Vidya. So that is the journey. This physical thing is a methodology to bring the prana in the body into a particular state of equilibrium, so that over time the movement of prana starts settling down. The movement of the chitta or the consciousness becomes under your control, and then after some times the frequencies and the other movements of the chitta are modulated, and then it starts settling down. And that is the intent of a yoga vidya class. It's not, we are not here to teach just simple asanas. We are here to ultimately find out the existential question: who am I? Why am I alive? What is the purpose of this existence? So that is the ultimate goal of a yoga vidya class. Um, so here now we'll go back to the pranayama lessons. Now, there was a question that I think Anant sir asked during the class, during the
Yeah.
as to what is the difference between the kumbhaka, that is the holding position, as opposed to the silence in dhyana. Now,
Yeah.
the key is the level of control you have in that particular state. We must remember one thing: when we breathe, we is I. The aham is the one that is exerting control over the breath. Now, when that aham or I is exerting control, it's called prajna. So the prajna is aware of the control over the breath. When you are controlling physically, there is a physical control when you stop the breath. So it is not a natural control. So in kumbhaka, when you do puraka or taking in the breath, then you actually hold the breath. You are forcing the breath to stop. It is called kumbhaka, or an empty pot, and you hold your the aham, the I is holding the breath, and then you have rechaka, where your aham is letting the breath go for 6 counts. Then you hold it again. All the process, the whole process of pranayama is therefore controlled by the aham, the prajna of the self. In dhyana, what happens is that you are separating yourself from the breath. The aham is an observer. The aham observes the breath as like it is watching like it is watching a match. So the aham, what it does is that the breath goes in and it is going out. So the self, the prajna, is watching the breath coming in and going out. It sees the silence in between the intake and the exhalation, and that silence, even when the exhalation is happening, it tries to prolong that silence. Ultimately, what happens? The existential need to for the awareness, it comes. The chitta starts moving again, and when that happens, we become engaged with the present. So this is the basic difference between the kumbhaka and the silence. Have I answered the question?
Yes, sir. The
Okay,
silence part only is somewhat a little
it is
confusing.
hard
There is only, yeah.
because ultimately what will happen is, when you do pranayama at home, when you're when you're alone, at one stage you will be able to actually control the numbering without exerting any force. When you do that, you'll find is that your brain will become empty. You will not feel anything happening there, and that is when the chitta has stopped moving dramatically. How do we know that the chitta is moving? First of all, you'll be able to feel a buzzing sound inside the head. There's a lot of activity which is happening inside the head. That indicates the movement of the chitta. Another way in which you will be able to know that your chitta is moving is when, from the frontal lobe, a lot of your cognition will happen around you. Your chitta first is trying to get all the external anchors so that your confirmation of existence, I am alive, is answered. Because without that answer, the framework in which you are living, your framework of existence is lost. So if the framework is not there, you will not be able to exist. I mean, so you get very insecure. So for that framework to exist, the chitta will go and keep on pinging and saying that, okay, I exist. This is my mobile. This is this is the laptop. All of this. And when you are doing alone and you're sitting quietly, what happens is the chitta is no longer engaged in something. It is observing the breath. And that is from Vijnana, which is the external anchor, it begins to seek an internal anchor. When the internal anchor is also satiated or satisfied, it begins to settle down even further. And that point, you will not have to, your breath will simply start slowing down and getting modulated. You won't have you won't have the worry of whether I'm alive or this and that. You have already accepted, or you are in a state of what they call homeostasis. Your blood pressure would have come down, your heart rate would have come down, you would have started becoming, the amount of agitation in the body would have gone down, and then slowly you would have come to a point where you are at a state of peace. When that peace becomes really sublime or very subtle, at that time you will find that the breath does not have to be forced. When you count, it will happen like as if it is it is practiced. So again, there is a lot of practice there, because then you are conditioning your body, your breath, to accept that state where your intake is 4, holding is 4, exhalation is 6, holding is 4. So if you continuously do this again and again and again, at one point when the consciousness is no longer feeling insecure, it will automatically get settled further and further and further and further until its modulation will be very close to zero. It won't happen at zero until you, that's a very long distance away. There's a lot of practice that is required, and you need to sit for much longer time, because it's in 15 minutes and all those, that kind of modulation is very hard. So this is basically what happens. First, we teach the chitta to accept the control system. Then we bring the control system and reduce the anchors required from the outside to the inside. Thereafter, we actually allow the body to sit in quietness, and so that the muscles are all relaxed. So the pranic requirements, the requirement of prana by the body reduces, and then the homeostasis, or the heart rate, the breathing rate, the blood pressure, everything starts settling down, coming down, because the requirement of the body has gone down. Then the chitta, or the consciousness, begins to modulate and settle down. It is somewhat like, suppose you were to put dust in a jar of water and you were to stir it. If you were to let it go, after some time, the dust will settle down to the bottom. And this is precisely what we are doing in the practice of pranayama. We are settling the dust, the kachada, to the bottom, and then so that you are able to, you are able to modulate the movement of chitta. Is this understood?
Yeah.
Okay, Kala madam, yes. Yes, madam, please ask the question.
Initially, I could not do it. This 4:6 is to 4 is to hold. But slowly, after a week's practice, I'm able to do it. So as you said, I used to have a kind of anxiety, but that has reduced now. I'm able to do it. Thank you, sir.
Okay, actually, you know what will happen? Suppose you are in a position where you are anxious. If you get away from that position and you sit quietly and you practice this 4-6-4, you will find that you're able to go and actually solve your problem better. This is what you call conditioning. You are now slowly conditioning yourself to not only to bring your chitta under control, but to manage stress in other spheres as well. So this is another. It's a very useful tactic. Yes, Meenu, madam.
Yeah, sir, I have many times found that when I try to do this 4-6-4,
Hmm.
when the Rechaka comes, that's the exhalation, right?
Rechaka is exhalation. Yes.
Yes. So when the Rechaka comes, because of, I don't know, inexperience, maybe you'll say, I don't know, but because of holding the breath for the six counts, uh,
Four counts.
isn't it
Holding
four
it for
six
four
four?
counts.
No, isn't it
In
four
four,
six
four,
six four
four,
six four?
4, 6, 4. So,
4-4-6-4. Okay.
huh.
So whatever the count is, the point is that when we are holding the breath, this is
Hmm.
happening to me. I'm not saying it happens to everybody. So
Hmm.
when I try to exhale,
Hmm.
the breath just kind of rushes out.
Explodes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
rushes out, and at that time it's like almost like a balloon is waiting to just burst, kind of,
Correct.
because we are
Correct.
holding on to the breath. And
Correct.
then that exhalation to be extremely controlled, what do we have to do?
Practice.
Again, practice is the only thing.
That's all. That's
Oh,
all you have to do. There's nothing. This is not rocket science.
no, I thought there is some technique or shortcut,
No.
that's why.
See, the thing is, what we are doing now is called conditioning. You are, all of us, I don't know if you've heard of a guy called Pavlov.
Yeah,
Okay.
Pavlovian dogs.
Yes. So what we are doing now is like Pavlov. So I'll just, for the benefit of people who don't know,
Yeah.
there was a gentleman called Pavlov. He's a psychologist. What he did was he put a dog in a cage, and then every time before he gave the dog food, he rang a bell. So he continuously did this for about 2-3 weeks. And at the end of it, what he did was that whenever if he rang the bell, the dog would start salivating. What this meant was that over time, the conditioning of the dog to the food and the bell, he could establish. We are doing the same thing, except we are doing it on ourselves. We are the lab, we are the experiment, we are the dog, we are the food, we are the bell. We are training ourselves to condition our consciousness in a manner that it will listen to the prajna or the aham, the I. So that at some point in time, the separation of the I from the consciousness will happen automatically. That's all we are doing. So this is all about conditioning. So now I am going to, again, we are going to do the pranayama. So we will slowly begin the process of observing the breath, relaxing the body, and then slowly beginning bringing the breath under control. Okay. So everybody, please sit in your most comfortable position. Pranayama is the most preferred position, and then please make sure that your prana, this is the fingers are joined, and your tongue is at the upper palate. So I'm going to start the instructions. This will take about 10 to 15 minutes. Please follow the instructions. Observe the breath. Let it go in and go out. No need to control it. Observe the breath. In, out. In, out. Try not to force the breath from in and out. Just observe. That's all. Let it go whichever way it wants to go. Observe the breath at the nostril. Observe the breath coming into the bridge of the nose. into the bridge of the nose, into the nasal cavity, the breath coming into the nasal cavity. Feel the breath going into the throat. Feel the breath at the ears, inside the throat. Feel the breath entering the lungs. Feel the breath moving the abdomen as it goes in and out. Relax. 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax the breath at the throat, at the nose. Relax the nose as the breath flows through it. Relax. Relax the brain. Relax the front of the brain. Relax the front of the brain. Relax the left side of the brain. Relax the right side of the brain. Relax the back of the brain. Relax the center of the brain. Relax the center of the brain. Relax the whole of the brain. Relax the eyes. Relax the eyes. Relax the face. Relax the face. Relax the throat. Relax the throat. Relax the back of the neck. Relax the back of the neck. Relax the shoulders. Relax the shoulders. Relax the chest. Relax the chest. Relax the back. Relax the back. Relax the abdomen. Relax the abdomen. Relax the whole body. Try to keep your back erect. Relax the whole body. Relax. 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 Relax from the top of the head to the abdomen. Feel the body relax. Now we'll begin the breathing cycle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Hold. Oops. 3, 4. Relax. I screwed up on the counting this time. Forgive me. Now, when we do the breathing out, I'm going to ask you to then hold your anus for the count of 4. So you will, when you're breathing in, focus on the breath coming into the nose. Then hold. When you're holding, you will hold your anus, and when you're breathing out, you will release the hold on the anus. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Relax. Now we will do Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama, and in this the awareness is going to be that when the breathing in comes in, you will focus on the breath and then hold, and then when you're breathing out, you will bring your head down and also try to bring your anus up. Hold your anus in a bandha, and then for the 4 counts you'll hold it, and then when you breathe in, you will Again, bring your awareness back to the incoming breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. Right. 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. Right. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. Left. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Relax. This time my counting has been a little off. I'm unable to concentrate. I don't know why. Meenu madam, yes, what is your question?
Sir, during this entire thing, I goofed up several times, and
Yeah. So
I
did I.
think there was some sound coming in, like a whistling sound, and it was madly distracting for me. Some of the participants have not muted their.
No, 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 it's not that. I'm having a problem. There is a construction going on
No,
the
it's not like a construction sound at all. It was a very rhythmic sound. So I think if they can check their
No, no, no. There is a jackhammer. They're breaking the building down on the other side. That
no,
sound is
sir, the
coming.
jackhammer doesn't sound like a breath, right? I do know how a jackhammer sounds like.
It was a water flow kind of a thing.
It was a very regular sound. I think if everybody checks their microphone, whether it's muted or not during the call,
Yeah,
it would
okay.
have been
So we'll do
helpful.
it again.
The,
We'll
the
do only
numbers and all,
Nadi.
everything got
She's
goofed
right.
up.
I too experience the same whistling or a water flow kind of a
Yes,
thing.
yes.
Yeah.
No,
Okay, okay.
everyone is muted. I checked it up when I heard the sound. I checked it up. Everyone is muted excepting Guruji. So I don't know where the sound comes from. It was breathing sound like, but everyone had it off. Everyone is muted.
Was it my breathing?
I thought so, but it was not coinciding with that. Your breathing, I'm seeing. I was wondering how it is making such a lot of
Yeah, it was like
Okay.
more like a water flow or something like that. Yeah.
But everyone is muted. I
There
checked
is
up.
no water flow sound coming from inside this room. Let us try once more. I'm very sorry if there is a problem. I can't stop these people from doing that. It's not out of my control, so I'm having a problem. So we'll do this Nadi Shuddhi again. So breathe in 4 counts, hold. So you can start with either side. I'm not going to give you which side to start from. Whichever is comfortable, you can start. So breathe in 4 counts, hold 4 counts, breathe out 6 counts, hold 4 counts. So when you're breathing in, focus in here, hold, and then when you're breathing out, suck your anus inside and take your head down so that the prana is moving inside the torso in a regulated manner. So you're actually what we are doing now is balancing the Ida and the Pingala, the left and right nerves. I can hear a sound. Yes, I can also. Maybe it is something to do with Google Meet. I don't even know. I don't understand the sound. Um, yeah, I can hear that push
The
sound now.
sound is coming even now, but when we are all silent, it is much more larger. I mean, now we don't feel it. Yeah. So
Yeah, I can hear that sound. Yes,
exactly.
I can hear that sound. Well, shall we continue with the class? Please try to ignore it if you can. Okay, another thing that you can do, which I do, is I empty the head. I don't know if y'all can manage it. I call it emptying the head. Basically, I put my brain in neutral gear. And those of you who have driven vehicles will know there is nothing that is driving the. It is just sitting in neutral gear, and then it becomes an observer. If y'all can do it, that will be great. This is one of those things which I have practiced over time. If you can bring your brain into neutral gear and keep it empty, then what happens is that you're in a slightly better frame of existence. The sound is there. I am also not able to figure out how that sound has come. So let's do this once more. Let's do this once more. Sonal madam, if you just joined, sit in pranayama. I mean in Padmasana, and please follow the instructions. Okay, so now 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Relax. Relax. Now, one of the things that I practice, which I can share with you, is the the emptying of the head. Now, what happens is that if you are able to relax the brain completely, and then you are able to let go your need for external anchors, you can bring the chitta. You can actually make the aham, I am, observe the chitta inside the head, and you can actually make it still. You can feel a stillness inside you if you are if you practice. So I'm going to just ask you all to spend 30 seconds sitting straight. Just hold your positions, close your eyes, and then try. You'll be able to feel something coming inside. You'll be able to the aham, I, yourself. You'll be able to see something coming. If you are able to bring it in, you'll be able to bring it in, and then you'll be able to kill it. You'll be able to make it empty. So just try it for 30 seconds. Relax, relax. Come back to the present. Is there any feedback? Were you all able to do this? Yes, Meenu madam.
So a lot of mistakes in the synchronizing the breath, and when you were doing, I felt it was a tad faster than maybe novices like me can handle. So
You thought I was being a little faster?
a tad faster, not too much.
Okay, I'll that feedback is important. Okay, I'll go a little
only
slower.
only this last one time, not before. Only this last one time I felt it was a tad faster. Earlier, which you had done in the same class, it wasn't fast. Only
Okay,
this one.
what about the others? Did they feel the same way?
No, sir, it was
The
nice.
pace was fine, but I
Yeah,
couldn't,
look fine. Yeah,
empty the kind of
Sir,
emptying, feeling that
I
you were
yeah.
left into the system.
I
Emptying
said
the
that
brain did not happen.
being a novice, I use the word novice here because I think a lot of it, managing the speed of the numbering depends of you latching on to that synchronicity. If you're able to
Ah.
get into the rhythm of it, then you can handle faster speed. I was, as I said, wildly
No, no,
distracted
no.
with the
I'm
sounds,
I get where you're coming from. I'm asking the others if they felt it was a little
but
faster.
they did
But
not. They all said no.
oh, they did. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, okay. What about the emptying part? Were you all able to manage that?
No, Guruji.
I
Uh,
couldn't. I
I
couldn't
was
do that.
Emptying was
Yeah.
slightly difficult. I couldn't.
Okay. Now let me ask you a question. Are you all able to feel the buzzing sound inside the brain?
I think we need to do it a little, couple of more
Oh,
times.
really?
Okay, now I'm saying that if you suppose you just let it go and you just observe, you be an observer of yourself. Don't try to be a participant. You observe. If you are observing, you should be able to see two things. One is your chitta, the consciousness moving out, and another thing you should be able to experience is the chitta moving inside the brain. So if you can, try to do that.
Sir,
Uh,
Sir,
yes.
may I say one thing here? Sorry for interrupting here, but what I want to tell you is that I have been a lifelong observer of myself. Okay,
Okay.
but when you say when I say a lifelong observer, meaning literally like someone is standing outside of my body and watching me like that,
Correct.
and like that
Correct.
I've been for decades. Okay,
Hmm.
so without any yoga, nothing. So, but when you say the buzzing sound, I'm not able to hear that. The
No, no,
other
no.
thing,
There will be no sound. The buzzing. It's not a sound. It's a buzzing. It's just a
okay,
buzzing. It's a physical sensation that is
oh, okay,
happening inside.
like a
It is
tingling,
a physical.
like a tingling.
It is. It could be a tingling. So it will be manifesting in different ways for different people.
Okay, but it did
So
done none of that for me, except that I'm very keenly aware that I am observing myself. And this has
very
been
good.
a constant refrain with me always. However, in this way, the way you are explaining the chitta and the, how the prajna is going to be sitting there and you separate yourself, so you observe yourself, you aham. That technicality, when I get into, I am feeling that I don't know anything. Okay, but all I know
No,
is
no.
that I know that I'm always it's always like I am a third person who's looking at me like that.
Okay. Okay.
So I don't know how it fits in with this.
No, no, this is fine. I mean, it's all all of this will come together slowly. You're not going to be able to become a proficient overnight for the simple reason that the self will struggle to stay alive, because if it does not stay, if it is not manifesting itself, then it's existentially not there. That is the reason why we feel that we need to engage in something. There was a question, karmanyavadikaraste. The question was there. Now it's a very pertinent question, because this particular what we are doing is answered there. Like for instance, your uh, he says that perform an action, don't seek the fruits of the action. Now there is a inherent conflict in that particular statement. In order to act, you must have an objective. If you don't have an objective, you can't act. It doesn't make sense. You will be doing all kinds of things without any reason. So what happens is that the difference between so there's one thing is very clear. You need to have a reason to act. We are sitting here for a particular reason, to do yoga vidya. So our we as people are engaged in a lesson of Yoga Vidya. What does that mean? That aham, I am in this class, has to be there. But what he is saying that don't look at the fruits of the action. So the thing is that you engage yourself in the action to a point where the aham is not waiting for the fruits of the action. That is, the you are separating. You become an observer in the whole business. The aham is separated from the action itself. Only when the aham is separated from the action will the outcome of the action become irrelevant. That is, you will not be happy if you succeed, you will not be sad if you fail. So, another thing that you can do is that he talks about later in Srimad Bhagavad Gita is he says that karma phala tyaga. That is, you can take the whatever you come, you give it away. It say it is not mine. The minute you say it is not mine, I am not the owner of the outcome, then automatically the first part also becomes this. So I am involved in the action, but I am not taking the outcome of the action. Whether it is good or bad. So that's why we say Krishnarpanam or Brahmarpanam or whatever. So this is a critical thing that we also practice when we do pranayama. Because when you are practicing pranayama, what you are essentially doing is you are separating the aham. The aham becomes an observer. It is no longer a participant. So the thing is that today actually we've gone a little way beyond the script. Actually, we have tried very hard to look at the sense of self and look at the sense of self as an observer rather than as a participant. I think there is a lot of ground to be covered again because it's not an easy subject. But have I answered the question that was asked? Who asked? I think Kavita madam asked the question. I'm not sure.
Sir, I asked that question. This is Lata here.
Yes, madam.
Sir, actually, I wanted to know the word by word meaning. For example, karmanyevadi karasteya. Illa adu vandu karmanye va adhikaraste. That means you have the responsibility only for the action. You have the adhikaram only for the karmanye, to do the karma. And so I also want to know the split. How do you split that whole shloka, all 4 lines? And I wanted to know the word by word meaning for that.
Oh, that way.
Yes.
Okay, then we can take this offline because that is a very specific requirement. So we will take that. I thought it was basically you're talking about. No, you're right. I mean, the whether you split it word by word or take the shloka by itself, the whichever way you split it, the meaning ultimately comes to just this: that you have the right only to the action. But so karma, your adhikaram, as you rightly said, is for the action. But what does it mean? A little further down in chapter 3, chapter 4, he talks about karma, akarma, and vikarma. So here we also need to define what is the right action. So action which is karma is that action which is as per dharma, that is which is relating to increasing of order, which he goes into chapter 18 and defines as Om Tat Sat. Om Tat Sat means that Sat means value, Tat means sacrifice. So any sacrifice which increases value is dharma. When your karma is in alignment with that particular outcome, that is karma. Akarma is non-action. So if suppose you're in a queue and a bully comes and breaks the queue and you keep your mouth shut, then what happens is that is akarma. You have not really acted on what you should do, because sat means om tat sat means you have to add value, means you have to get the bully out of the queue. At least you have to make a noise, because then your job is to make a noise and say you have to leave the queue. Ma phaleshu tadadana. That is, you cannot expect him to leave the queue. Up to point, you have got your own real limitations. If you say that you must leave, and if that person says, I'll beat you up, you keep your mouth shut, you might not have the wherewithal to fight with the person. So then in that case, you keep your mouth shut. You step back, but you have done your job of raising the issue and saying that no, you must leave. So the question is that to what extent do you take this to its logical conclusion? So karma is that which is in alignment with dharma. Akarma is not acting. Vikarma is you being the bully and breaking the queue. Vikarma is that which is counter to dharma. So here it is not a simple thing that you cannot this particular uh, sentence can be taken in multiple directions. One is this. The second direction that you can take it in is that when you are acting, suppose ahankar, that is I am the doer, is not there. So you are acting. You are not looking at the outcome of the act. So you are acting because it has to be done. So in the end, it is all about acting in accordance with dharma. So have I answered that question? I don't know if I have answered the question because you are asking for the split of the word, which will take time.
We could do this on offline, sir, if it's okay with you, because I even the third line I wanted to know the meaning of that.
Yeah, sure. We can do that. We can do that.
Karma palahe turabuhu means I have read some other interpretation of that. I just want to know what is the right meaning of that turabuhu and all that.
See,
So
the problem with Srimad Bhagavad Gita is it is interpretative. That is, if you were none of us know Sanskritam to the extent, I mean, it is a conversation. So for a third person who is listening to a conversation between two people, it will mean different things. In the same class, when I am teaching a class of 14 people, what happens is that each of you receives the information according to the position of your prajna at this particular point in time. So it is very important that you do not try to see how it can be perfect. It is your interpretation of what Sri Krishna has told Arjuna, because you are observing a conversation between him and Arjuna. It is not necessarily correct, it is not necessarily complete. But if as you keep on reading that particular thing and reflecting on it, the ultimate thing that you end up realizing is that there is only one important thing, and that is the aham. For as long as the aham is engaged in the action, karma phala is a given. The minute you either disengage the aham or you remove the karma phala, you have no karma coming in. Why? Because karma is debt. The entire business of karma yoga is about creation and negation of debt. Now that we can take in the next class because it is already 4:05, or we can stop the class now and then you and I can have this discussion going forward, because there will be people who will want to leave the class. So what I'm saying is that for now I'm going to stop the class. I'll stop the recording, and Lata madam, we will discuss this a little more, because I would also like to know your opinions on this particular subject. So formally I'm closing the class. Thank you very much everybody for coming today. Even I went a little outside the script, and I went further than what I was anticipating I would take. If there is any feedback, please let me know. We will meet again next Saturday. Thank you very much, and have a lovely weekend, lovely week, and please practice, and please give feedback also.
Thank you, sir.